Well, first off, I don't think this video is going to get around to a lot of people. This is not one of those videos that I'm trying to get millions of hits on, so it's kind of doing it out of the goodness of my heart. And I'm not somebody associated with Spooky2. Some people have accused me of that, so I kind of laid off doing videos on it. But then somebody asked me, how the heck do you use this new the equipment? Now, I'm going to tell you honestly, when John White changed his menu around quite a bit this time, I was like, what the heck is this stuff? I was like, I went to put on a new computer and I started loading up the new August 5th software or whatever it was. And you can see right now, I don't really have a generator. It's in test mode, but, same difference. Um, I was like, what the heck is this? I didn't know what it was. It was so different. But actually, you know what my problem was? I was reading into it too much. He actually made it simpler. Um, Now, me being Simple Simon, um, I don't really get into a lot of these different things, and actually, I pretty much only choose the settings that say JW after it because it's John White. I trust his stuff the most, not to say that anybody else's stuff is not as good, but that's just my personal opinion, and that's not a Spooky2 endorsement thing or anything or what they say. That's my personal opinion. I just take John White's settings, okay? That's what I do. Um, the first time, also want to say, the first time I installed this program, I was using this on an old XP computer. This is old Betsy over here that works better than all the newfangled, Windows 8 and 10 computers that are out. Um, Somehow it didn't install right, and I kind of only had this option here, user, and I didn't have all these ones up here. So I don't think that's a problem with the installation. Maybe that was just the computer having a hiccup. And I installed it again, and so if you turn out you have a little problem, try reinstalling the program again. Also, the first time, make sure you install the drivers and read the manual. The manual is like 256 pages, and actually I have some other videos on how to explain how to use other parts of this, how to hook up the remote. There's another video I got how I hooked up, well, not kind of, how I hooked up the plasma machine with the cables. And that's the biggest deal with this computer, this Spooky2, is the plasma. It's a real McCoy plasma. It's like the real deal. And he gives you what he does is he's giving you a million different options. And sometimes when you get a million different options of using something, he's not limiting you. It gets confusing, you know. Now me, I'm just gonna take this shell empty presets. That's all I'm using. And I only use stuff that says JW after it. That's me. That's not what you should be doing necessarily. And there's a lot of other people got all these other great ideas. But me, I just use JW settings. Okay? Now, this over here, it says CPS research. These are this one DNA. I forgot the hell her name is. Charlene, I think her name is. Charlene Bohm. Or DNA frequencies. You could buy these frequencies. I don't sell them or nothing. And you can't give them out to anybody. It's like you sign a contract or something. I don't know. They're not much money. I think they're like 12, 20 bucks or something. And for, each ailment. And if you're using her stuff, what you do is you set it, you use it like what he says right here. He's got presets for contact mode and remote mode. Remote mode means you use a little DNA holder with the Mobius coil. There's other videos on that's out there. Now I just want to talk about the Spooky Central mode, which is the plasma, which you can see is down here. I'll click that on. That is the basic shell preset for Spooky Central. Spooky Central is the modern plasma machine that has very broad operating frequency range. It can operate with or without a carrier frequency. And the whole deal with this, carrier frequency is some garbage that was actually, I hate to say that, it's garbage, but it really was. The original Royal Rife work did not use a carrier frequency. That was something that Philip Hoyland came up with later to try to confuse people, and so they couldn't figure out what the real frequency was by using sidebands. If I said that, don't even care about it. In other words, you just take the settings that John White says. Spooky Central JW. That's when you're using plasma. Just take that. No problem, okay? Shell empty presets right here. You click select that, went on. You want to use in a Spooky2 plasma. And I got another video how you hook up the cables and what I did. I'll show it to you. And that's all. So we go over to the programs. Now, I selected syphilis. Now, honestly, I don't know syphilis, but say you had this new brand of syphilis or gonorrhea or something like that. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, this thing, if every STD on the planet, I know people are worried about cancer, they're worried about Morgellons, they're worried about Lyme disease, they're worried about bird flu and everything else. But if every STD on the planet could be immediately knocked out with plasma Rife machines, assuming that can really happen, and say we discover the methods for that, this thing would sell like hotcakes. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the reality of the situation is VCRs, and I'm not, like, again, I'm not associated with Spooky2. I'm an end user, so don't go get pissed off at them when I'm telling you this stuff and saying, oh, this guy's so immoral. Well, maybe I'm not 100%. Well, I am pretty moral, but I'm just telling you the reality of the human situation. Human situation was VCRs took off because of porn. And the internet took off because of porn. And if there's going to be a medical device that's going to take off, if this is, wait a minute, this is not a medical device, this is an experimental plasma machine or whatever the hell it is, but say it turns out that it becomes a medical device that people can use in their home. Say it becomes one, right? And you can use it against every STD in the world. But guess what? Everybody's going to freaking be buying one because that's just the way people are, They're freaking flawed, and human nature is flawed. So say we have syphilis here. This is a Rife one. You can see that under the list here, that second column says Rife. I hope this is coming out big enough. I think he's got a way you can make this a bigger font, but I don't know. I could see it. Hopefully you could see it. And you double click that on. It goes down here, right? Then, so that was presets. Then you go to programs. You type in whatever you're looking for, whatever your disease is, whatever, it's like, I don't know, cancer, whatever, cold and flu, whatever the hell you're looking for, right? So you double click on you pick one, and then you go to generator control. So say, now it's showing a whole bunch of these red squares, but normally you might have one generator on, so you have one red square. You click it on. Wow, that loaded up fast. Well, that's because there's no generator, maybe. Then you start it. Now you notice down here, out 1 is the 789,000 frequency. It's being modulated by out 2. I don't know what the hell that means exactly, okay? I don't know. And you notice this volts is going up and down, 0 to 5. That's because the preset has it going off and on. The plasma going off and on. It's pulsing with that frequency. That actually supposedly makes it work faster and better. Okay? I don't know why this out2, that's just how the plasma works. They have to have it modulated with this other thing here. I don't know what the hell that means, okay? I mean, like I said, I'm an end user. I don't even give a damn how it works exactly as long as it works. Now, I'm going to show you something that's a little bit interesting because, well, if this is not interesting, or if I don't know if this is interesting. Say we stop it. Say we erase that. Say we go down to, pick another one here. Syphilis under the consolidated frequency list. Now you notice it's got like 177, 550, 525. I don't know. Was it 600? 6. I can't even read that. I can't even read that with my glasses, for crying out loud. I'm sure you can't read it. And it says 600, 660, 658. That's what it says on that blue line. So say we double click this. Before, since we chose presets Spooky Central Plasma, that's going to convert those frequencies in a range where the plasma works. Because this plasma, I think it works between a range of 100,000 hertz and 3,500. 100,000 hertz and 3,500,000 hertz. So normally you wouldn't be able to just run 177 hertz or 550 and 525 or whatever the hell that is. and 600 and 660 and 658. You normally couldn't run that. But he's got the program automatic where it converts it into the range where the plasma can reach it, can work with those frequencies. So you go to generator control, click this on, loads it again. Okay, so you can see that clear as a bell. Maybe you can now. 177, 650, 625. I thought that said 525. 600, 660, 658. So you hit start. Now you notice, look where it is. 724,992. I don't know why this is 724,815. I don't mean, what the hell does that mean? See how it's different like that? It's I forgot what the hell that is. I forgot how that's calculated. But say, for instance, we just go in here, we say, just to give you an idea, this is, say, 724,992 divided by 8. Boom. Divided by 8. Boom. Divided by 8. Boom. Divided by 8. Boom. 177. See that? It's multiplying by 8 until it gets up into, and see, I don't know, there's this 8 is some magic number with these frequencies. When you multiply it up by 8, it does its thing, So in other words, see how many 8s that is. That's 724,992 divided by 177. 4,096 divided by 8. Oh, whatever that is. 2. So, it goes up times 8, times 8, times 8, times 8. I think it's going up probably. Let me see what that would be again. But he's got it whereby it's doing a multiplier of a certain amount that works with these frequencies to bring it up into the plasma bulb range. So now you can choose any frequency set, any of them, and still use the plasma, whereby you couldn't use it before. And it's easier this way, actually. Now, you erase this, you erase it, and say I was going to choose, I don't know, what's it? Flu, right? Flu. Let's look down here for flu. Cold and flu. So just double click it on, go to generator control, and normally you only have one little red box because you probably only have one generator instead of like all these generators. Click it on, boom. So that's 128,000. So that's within the range of the plasma bulb, between 100,000 and 3,500,000, right? Fine. So, it's just telling you exactly, so if you multiply this 250 by 8 by 8 by 8 by 8, you'll get up into that range again. What the hell is this thing? Where the hell is my freaking calculator right there? There's my calculator. 128 divided by 8 one time, divided by 8 again. 3. Oh, so it's 8 to the third power. That's what it is. It's multiplying by 8 to the third power. So 8, what the hell is this? Times 8 times 8. So it's multiplying it by 512. There you go. That's what it's doing. To get it up in a range where the plasma bulb can work. So that's cool. And I don't know what, you just got to make sure you have the wire on the right side. Out 2 goes on out, out the cable, which is out 2 on this side. And I'll show you the link on another video. This thing is actually easier to use. And it's got it all automatic where you can choose anything you want. I mean, you can choose any frequency set you want. He's actually got it whereby, you don't have to choose the database and, Like you just put the word in there and it comes up. It's got all the different databases. I mean, it's simpler. That's all I got to tell you. It's simpler. Let's see if they got bird flu. Bird flu? Bird flu virus. Oh, here we go. So, take that out. Double click that out on the bottom. Bird flu virus. Generator control. Hit 2. Boom. Start. Now, is this going to definitely kill your bird flu and knock out all your bird flu? I don't know. All right? That'd be cool if it is. But it looks like again, it looks like, I don't know, is that 7, let's see. We'll see what that is. 372,736 divided by 728. 512. All right, so he's using 512. He's using 8 to the third power. That's what he's using to get it up in the plasma area. Now, that's some kind of magic number, 8 to the 512, 256, 64, 32, kind of like powers of 8. I don't know why that works, man. I don't know. That's what they found out. I mean, where's the double-blind studies? You ain't gonna find any, all right? And I'm just telling you, like, this is how I'm using it because I am not getting involved in all the other stuff. And this thing, the bulb flashes on and off. That's like a setting that's in there automatically. It's gated with 4 hertz. In other words, it goes off and on 4 times a second. It's flashing, boom, boom, boom. And that supposedly gives it more power, more strength. Now, I do not get involved in all the other stuff. Like, you can put, I don't know, there's global settings in here. No. I don't know, maybe just reduce font. I don't want to reduce font size. Maybe there's something else in there. Internet, they also have on the bottom here. You can take a screenshot. You get customer support, which ain't me. I can tell you that right now. But it is a lot easier to use. And like I said, when I'm using it, do what you want. I mean, but I'm pretty much sticking with the shell empty presets. Anything that's a JW setting. If I'm using a remote, I'll use JW remote. Killing, more likely use killing or healing, one of those two. Or I'm not too fond of using the contact mode now that you got the plasma. So plasma is Spooky Central. That's what you use there. And he's got other product. Jeez. I almost hate to tell you, agree with some people who think they find this confusing. I guess it could be. It depends on how hard you read into it. Don't read into it too much. And a lot of he leaves the options open for anybody who wants to experiment. He leaves options open for other people's ideas. Fine. He's got other settings for like environmental. People are worried about the environmental, molds and mold species, and I mean, I'm not worried about that. Detox. This is it's foot bath setting. It tells you what to do. Fill a bucket with a quarter full with water and mortar. Half teaspoon of salt or Epsom salt, preferably. Place one spooky handheld cylinder in the water. Do not allow electric clip to touch the water because then it'll rust. Place your feet in the water. Hold on to the handheld cylinder with your hands, and then select the spooky foot bath preset and run. Now, that's a pretty good idea. Okay, that's a pretty cool one. I like that. That's a JW idea. Well, I like JW stuff, man. That's why I stick with his stuff mostly. Not knocking anybody here. That's just me. I'm an end user. Okay, I am not going to try to get too deep into this myself. Hopefully I've not confused people on this, but don't read too much into this menu. And now I know I've only showed the program here. I didn't show how to hook up the cables for plasma, but I got that on another video. So you might want to look at that. And hopefully this is clear as mud because, well, you know what? After I looked at this for a while and I said, wait a minute, this is a lot simpler than I thought. I said, wait a minute, I'm reading too much into this. Like I said, I'm going to mainly use this for plasma. Shell empty presets. And you go over here to Spooky Central. That's the plasma. You just pick a program. Bird flu. That's one. You double click it to bring it down here. You go to your generator, which will only be one red thing here because I'll have one generator on this. Click it on. Hit start. And when you got all your cables, or make sure all your cables are hooked up, your bulb is going to be going on and all that stuff. And I got another video showing that, how that works. And don't worry about why this is so different. It looks like it's it looks like it's 512 times higher than that, which is 8 to the third power, and that's what it usually looks like. And I don't know how to calculate this out to. I remember what it was before, but I forgot. And you know, he's got it in there automatically. It's supposed to be. It's something that makes the plasma work. Okay, it's modulated. I don't know what that means. Fine. I don't even care what it knows. I don't care to know what it means. All I care is it's providing the frequencies the way it's supposed to be. And does that mean it's going to cure disease? Let's see. I think it. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. I don't think everything's going to be a home run, but well, we'll see. We know this technology came from actually the 1930s when it first came out in the 1930s with Royal Rife, who was not a doctor, by the way, and his assistant John Crane was not a doctor. He was a machinist, and so was Royal Rife. But their work was verified by the best doctors in the country, and they did cure 16 out of 16 cases of terminal cancer at that time, and then the AMA tried to ruin them. What the hell else is new, right? Now, I also want to tell you at the end of this video, since I'm telling you some health stuff, if you want to go look at the Pauling Institute, Linus Pauling Institute, he's not somebody that puts this Rife type technology or frequency type technology, but he was a two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he's an advocate of what you call orthomolecular medicine, which is nutrition and food can heal the body. And you know, maybe it's not going to be the wonder of all wonders, but it definitely can help you as an adjunct to anything else you're trying, whether it's conventional medicine or experimental medicine or alternative medicine, whatever you want to call it. But actually, nutrition in nature is a big healer. He's an advocate of what he coined that term, orthomolecular medicine, Dr. Linus Pauling, two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner. And some of the biggest things he recommends is vitamin C, which is a hormone, which I have many videos on my channel about. I think there's a lot of bang for the buck with that type of stuff. So if you're trying to address a situation, it's probably good to take some extra vitamin C. And look at his site. I'm not giving you the whole gist of everything because he tells you what type and how much and all this kind of garbage. And also vitamin D, sunlight can be helpful for you. Sunlight itself is a frequency. Sunlight contains energy. I don't think they understand everything about what the benefits of sunlight are. And I have a video on the benefits of sunlight, so just a brief overview. And a lot of things are not fully understood even yet, but even in that video that I put out about simple sunlight, there's a lot of things probably people don't expect that you can get out of sunlight. And you know what? It's free. You don't have to buy nothing. The sun's always out, you know, especially unless you're up in Antarctica or something, right? Then it's not getting the most direct rays. But yeah, so I'll just leave you with that thought. And you know, it's too damn hard to explain this stuff in a comment. So I'm trying to present something here, but I don't think I made it 100% clear to everybody, no matter what I do. So. But like I said, I try to keep it very simple. And I'm not saying anybody else's stuff that doesn't say John White again next to it is no good. But I personally happen to I always stick with John White's settings. settings. And I always look for the JW after the settings. I always take his stuff. Fine. You know what do I trust the guy. Okay, that's why. I mean, it's not that I'm telling you somebody doesn't know. I'm telling you that's what I do. Okay, that's all there is to that. Don't read too much into anything I'm saying here. But when you're looking at these they look complicated. And my problem is sometimes I read too hard into something and it makes something more complicated than it actually is. I realize he actually made this menu a lot easier to use. And he made it whereby the plasma can be easily used with any frequency set out there because it automatically brings up the, like for instance, if we had this, you notice this would start at, well, I just forgot to clear this. You notice that would start at 28 or 20. And you'd have to, probably that's going to bring it up not just 512 times, probably 1,024 times. I don't even know what that would be. See, or maybe higher than that. 655, 360 divided by 20. Wow. So it brought it up 32,768. So that's 8 to the 5th power. So he's always bringing up a power of 8. That's how he's doing it. Okay? So that's some other magic thing that's going on here. I don't want to say it's magic, but that's another. And it's something that they found out works better. It's multiples of 8. So it's like 8, 64, and whatever the hell 8 times 64 is. 64 times 8. It is 512. All right. Times 8 again. 4,096 times 8 again. 32,768. So there you go. There you go. So he's automatically bringing up these frequencies by a power of 8 so they fit within the range where the plasma can operate. So you don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to figure that out. It's actually just, choose preset plasma. We'll stop this. So you just go over here, choose shell, empty presets, Spooky Central, which is plasma. Go to program, type something in bird flu, double click it on, go to your generation control, click it on, run it, and your plasma is running. And you just got to make sure all the wires and every cables are hooked up, and I'll show you that. I already got that on another video. He actually made it way easier. I was intimidated by this too. I was like, what the hell did he do here? I was like, God, I'm being honest, man. I'm not being critical of John White, but when I first looked at it, what did he do? I got to learn something new? That's my first reaction. But I said, wait a minute, he did do this. He made this way simpler. I just got scared by the change in the menu. So I think a lot of people were. So anyway, over and out. And hopefully I helped a few people. Probably didn't get everybody. And it's like, if you ask me a question in the comments, I don't know what the hell I'm going to be able to tell you in the comments. It's not like I'm standing right there, moving your hand on a mouse. I mean, I don't know what the hell I could tell you, man. This is one part of it. If you look at how do you set up the cables on the plasma machine, that's the other part. Fine. And also look at the Linus Pauling Institute. I don't have nothing to do with them. I think they're great. They'll tell you a lot of stuff. And personally, I don't use the contact mode in Spooky, because what I use for contact mode is the power zapper, because it just takes a 9-volt battery, and I like using that. And it's easier to use, and I don't have to have it connected to a computer. So I got some power zappers. I got a My Plus CC2 and a 6-pack. So I always use contact mode with the power zapper because it's more convenient. I don't have to have a computer and a generator, and I have to be plugged in a wall. One 9-volt battery rechargeable. That's just what I'm doing, okay? So, over and out. Hopefully I help somebody.